So I'll just welcome everybody again. Welcome to the Trenlii webinar, the massive training session. So in today's session, we will be going over every part of Trenlii. So we'll do an overview of everything, and we do run training courses weekly that break down the product in 3 different courses. So we do go a bit more into detail in those weekly training courses. You can register for those on our homepage, and I'll just click over there. So Trenlii.com, and there's an education tab, and then you'll find that the courses are right here. So same time, 2:30 in Newfoundland for you, and it's 10 a.m. for us here, but you'll just register right at the bottom with your name, your email, and then you'll choose a course, and you can find the courses by using the drop-down right there. These courses are free for you to use, free for you to take, and you can take them as many times as you'd like. And if you need to take half one day and half another day, I understand, but they're only about 45 minutes to an hour long. We set out an hour to help with question time. But we're going to get started right now. And this is, we'll start with navigation of Trenlii. So in any big program that you start to go into, you'll want to know where things are found, how to make your way around. So right over here, we've got this left sidebar, and this is really our master menu for Trenlii. So anywhere that you need to get in Trenlii, any feature that you need to get to, you'll find it on this left sidebar. And if you're looking at a laptop or a desktop view of Trenlii for yourself, you'll notice that this is open as a default. Once your screen opens up, this will be open. But if you're working on a tablet or a mobile device, you'll find that it's usually closed. So I'll just close mine quickly so that you can see what I mean. So there it would be closed, and on some mobile devices it does show at the top here. Once you find these lines and open it up, it could open up at the top. But these lines would indicate that that's your left sidebar, where your left sidebar is. And so you'll always want to know that that's right there for your master menu here. Then we'll just scoot over right along the top. And we've got some recent active listings and some recent sold listings. So you can view all, and this would take you to a table view of these active listings or the sold listings. Or if you're looking through this drop-down menu, you can scroll down, and if you see anything interesting, you want to check out the details for that listing, you can click on that, and a listing modal should pop right up for you. And we'll go a bit more in detail about this listing modal once we get to the report generator section. So I'll move on for now, but we will talk about this section of Trenlii. And then here we are on hovering over your name. So this is where you'll find your account settings in your profile. You'll find in your profile, actually just click on My Profile right now. You'll find some information in here, your address, your email. Clicking on another tab, you'll find the billing information. And really, this section is for people that are buying a monthly subscription to Trenlii or a yearly subscription to Trenlii. However, your board is providing you access to Trenlii. So that's really great. And if you ever purchased anything within Trenlii, we have a Trenlii Marketplace section. So if you ever purchased an extra graph or chart, your billing information could be kept in this section as well. And then going right into the avatar, you can set up a Trenlii avatar, and this would show on your reports. So I'll just delete mine out of here. If you haven't set this up yet, there's probably a placeholder, and it's just a shadow of a man. So if you would like to delete that out, you can get that out of there, and then you'll click on the middle, open up your photos and go to the right photo, and here's my Trenlii avatar. So I'll just double click that. And then you can use just this 4-point arrow here to maneuver the picture around and just move it to where you'd like it to be. And once you're okay with the photo, how that's looking, you'll click OK, and it'll save your avatar right in there. Now, when you set up your Trenlii account, you had the option to choose your password. So if you ever think if you chose something different than your matrix password, you can go in and change it to keep your login information cohesive. Or if you ever think that you just would like to change your password to Trenlii to keep it up and keep it current, you can do that. You'll just enter the current password and then the new password twice. And then we'll reach the email settings here. And we will just go through this quickly. And we do this in the introduction course on the Monday courses. We do another run through of setting up the email, but we'll do that in this course today as well, just to make sure everyone can set up their Trenlii email. So under Mail Service Provider here, we will choose Trenlii, and this will set up the Trenlii SMTP server. So when you're automating your emails, when you're sending out the report generator reports, you'll have to have this set up in order to send out. You'll have to have some sort of email set up in this section to send out, or it won't be able to send. So right now we're going through the setup process for Trenlii, the Trenlii SMTP, and that's usually the easiest for agents because there's not any other work needing to be done within another email account. So here we are, we're on Trenlii right now, and then in this username section, you'll enter the complete email address that you registered with your Trenlii account. And once you've finished that, you'll go down to the password and you'll enter the password for your Trenlii account. And you'll notice that these bottom boxes, these SMTP, Trenlii server port, and security, they're all auto-filled. So you won't need to make any changes there. And then you'll click Save Changes. And when you're saving the change, Trenlii will prompt you to authenticate the change. And so it will ask you to enter that Trenlii account password once again. And now we'll click Submit and hope for a green message. Success, your changes have been successfully updated. So now the Trenlii email is set up in this section, and we could start generating reports and sending those out. I will show you there are a few other options in the drop-down. There's some specific emails to choose and then other. But when you are working within another email account, you will have to make a few changes to that email account's security settings. So if you're working in a Gmail account, you will have to go into your Gmail account and change the security settings to allow a third-party app access. And that would just allow our server to hook up to your Gmail server so that you can start automating those emails right from your Gmail account server. The selection here, when you have another specific email address that you're working with, the bottom boxes would still be auto-filled then, the information would still be there. But if you're working in any other email, an Outlook account, for instance, you would have to find the information, the SMTP server, which would be outgoing mail, the port, and the security for that. So Trenlii usually is the easiest to set up, and it would send right from this registered email address. And if a client decided to respond to the email, it would go right back into your email address here. So now we'll hover and I'll show you a bit more information in this account settings right under your name. But you'll get to billing info a few different ways. So you could click on My Profile and click on the tab, or you can go right into billing info here. And then you have the option to reset some tours. And when you signed on to Trenlii for the first time, it asked you to go through some tours. So it was just taking you through a few of the features. If you've clicked around on the different features in the left sidebar, you found that there's a tour for pretty well every feature on Trenlii. So you can click on End Tour, and if you'd like to go back in, you can reset those at any time. And then this new version 3.2.6, this is where we keep all of the changes when we update the system. So our last update was in June of 2016. And if you look on this document, you will find what we added to the system. You'll find a list of what we added. There's another update that's coming within the next few weeks. It'll be quickly coming. And you'll notice as Matrix users that the photos, the MLS photos, will actually be added to the reports, and they'll be added to the listing modals. So you'll see some MLS photos on here, and you'll also see some new features in Trenlii. And then you've got your basic full screen and logout options. Now another very important part of Trenlii is this right sidebar. And as a default, it is closed when you open your Trenlii account, but you'll find it just right up by your name and with a box with an arrow sticking right out of the middle there, and you'll open that up and you'll see how timely. You'll see some alerts here. And these are the alerts right down here that pop up, these pop-up alerts. So they're just nice information that you can get out on social media. They pop up every 5 minutes. And you can, again, you can post these to social media if you like. So we'll go through that process right now. We'll just choose our top here. So you'll have access to posting from Twitter, Facebook, or Google+. And when you do choose one, it will prompt you for your login credentials. And I think that I'm actually logged into my Twitter account right now. So if I click on Twitter, it takes me right in. So this is what I would tweet out. If I wanted to add anything, if any extra hashtags or any more information, I could definitely do that here. I will mention if you're working in Facebook, when it prompts you for your login credentials, it will prompt you for your master accounts login credentials. And that's where the post would be posting from. It would be that master account. So if you have a business page under your master account on Facebook, it won't actually post from that business page. It doesn't give you a drop down and allow you to choose which page you could post from. And that's just a quirk with Facebook right now. So we've been trying to work through that and see if we could get anything figured out. But as of right now, it will post right from your personal account, from your named account. And we'll just go on now. So those are the social media alerts, and we'll actually come back in here because we've got a red alert, a competitive alert, that we'll talk about a little later when we get to the mapping section. But we'll go into more right now. So this right sidebar houses your alerts, your social media alerts, and it also houses your internal settings for your Trenlii account. So we'll click on My Settings here, and you'll see that you've got a lot of options. So you can turn those pop-up alerts off. If you don't want to see those every 5 minutes, you can turn those off. And also the sound effects. I'm sure you've heard the pop when the pop-up alert comes on. You can turn that off if you like as well. These two are really personal preference. And then we have an option here, Show All Areas. You were prompted when you first logged into your account after creating it to choose a primary area. And when you did that, it went right in this section right here, this primary area section. But you can turn show all areas on, and when you're creating market trends charts or PDF reports, when you're doing any kind of comparison, you can open up every area under your board without limiting yourself to that primary area. So this show all areas is turned on by default, and you'll get a better handle on that when we go through the PDF reporting section and the market trend section. And we'll talk a bit more about this, but it is turned on by default. And if searching and making comparisons on those graphs and charts is important to you, you'll want to check and make sure that it's turned on for you. Then we've got an enable live support option. In our office, when we turn this on, this will show up, and it is what it is, live support. And so you'll have a little box down here that says talk to us, and you can click on that, and you can ask quick questions to the people in our office so that they can answer quickly right back to you. Then we've got this chart filters min-max option here. We'll click on edit right now. And you'll be able to edit the price parameter for your Trenlii account. So once you edit in here, this would then change the price parameter for your whole Trenlii account. So when you're working in the PDF reporting and the market trend section and the mapping section, and you've got that price parameter, it would be set for the whole entire account then. But you can increase that if you'd like to. If you notice 1.5 is just not enough, it's not allowing you to make a complete search within your MLS system for the listings that you'd like to search through. You can increase those by typing in, or you can also increase by using the buttons on the side here. And once you make a change in here, you will apply that change. And even when you're in these two sections and you click apply, you will have to save changes before you leave. If you're on a laptop, you'll notice that there's a shadowed scroll bar right over on the side here, and you'll use that to scroll down to save changes. But we'll discuss chart colors right now, so go into Edit. And these chart colors, Trenlii has made a way for you to be able to keep your branding customized, especially because you can embed charts and graphs on your websites. So if you've got specific colors that you use in your branding and you want to keep your website looking cohesive and embed some of our charts and graphs onto your website, you can come into this section, and if you know the color codes that you use, you can enter those in. If you don't know the color codes, you can find a different color by just dragging, clicking around, and then dragging this dot here. And these would show on your graphs and on your reports. And these, again, these are turned on by default, show custom colors on embedded charts and on your public reports. But if you'd like to go in and make sure that those are turned on before you start creating, you can definitely do that. If you ever want to go back to the preset colors, you can click here to reset to those default colors. And then you will click apply when you're leaving. And if that was the only change you needed to make, you'd click save changes before leaving this section. And now we'll talk a little bit about this my role in primary area. And this is a really great segue into the dashboard talk that we'll have. So my role here, you were prompted to choose a role when you first logged into your account. And you could choose between three options, both, listing, or selling agent. And so what this applies directly to is this dashboard page. I'll just actually click back over on my dashboard and get to market statistics. And I'll open that right sidebar back up. And so what this really relates to is what statistics would be showing on your dashboard My Statistics page. So what Trenlii does to show you your statistics, it bases it bases the stats off of my role in primary area. So if you have chosen listing agent, for instance, because you work mostly as a listing agent, what would show on your My Statistics page would be the stats for you as a listing agent. Trenlii would search through the MLS system and it would calculate through contracts that you are entered as the listing agent. It wouldn't take into account if you're on the contract as the selling agent. So if you do quite a bit in both areas and you want to show both numbers, you could pick both, and then it would search through both. And the same for your primary area. You were prompted to choose a primary area when you logged in, and you could choose between any of these zones. So right now we're set on St. John's. So on my statistics, it would search through my primary area. It would show the stats for me as listing or selling agent just within St. John's. And I do know I was talking to an agent yesterday actually, and she mentioned that a lot of agents will work quite a bit in or in multiple areas. And for right now, there's not a way to choose multiple primary zones, but you can come back in and change this primary zone at any time. So this doesn't have to stay. You can come in and make changes. But again, if you've made any changes, you will click Save Changes to apply those to your website. And now you'll notice we are on the dashboard page now on My Statistics, and we'll just go over a few stats right now and what they mean. And I'll show you a few differences between My Statistics and Market Statistics. So My Statistics, all of these numbers, and you won't see any numbers for me because this is an admin account, but all of these numbers would be my personal stats, so my selling and my listing stats. These boxes up here, I could click on this and get some more information. And if I had numbers in here, they would show. Now, if you don't have any, you've not made any sales or anything for 2017, if you don't have any numbers in, you'll definitely want to turn this comparing year to date off. And then once you click over the tab to 2017, it'll show you your 2016, excuse me. It'll show you your numbers for the previous year. And we'll talk a bit more about all of these stats, and I'll show you some changes on the market statistics page when I'm working with a few more numbers. But I will show you just at the bottom here, and this is on the My Statistics dashboard page. The bottom map is a map of your listings within that primary area that was chosen. So you can scroll around to see your listings, your active listings, conditional listings, and sold listings within 12 months. And I'll just take you up now to market statistics, and we'll talk about each of these boxes with some numbers in them. So the My Statistics page the numbers were based on your personal stats as what your role was entered as, so listing or selling agent or both, and within the primary area chosen. And your market statistics page will be based on the primary area chosen. So these will be the complete stats for the St. John's area. And just right up at the top, we can see an average sale price, average days on market, and total sales dollars, asked to sell ratio. So we see these 4 boxes, and these are all numbers for the last year to date. And you can tell that just by looking at this calendar range. If you were to click down on this drop down here, you could change the time frame if you'd like to see for the last 30 days. or if you'd like to go back as far as the last 10 years to date. So you can make changes and see what's happened for these specific stats for that time frame. Last year to date is usually the default, so once you log in, you can check it, but it's usually the default when you get into your Trenlii account here. Now, when you're looking at this, I showed you just on yours, you can click on your My Statistics page. You can click on this View More and open up a More Selling Statistics modal. And for your personal statistics page, so the dashboard My Statistics, this was your 2017 numbers and your 2016 numbers. So it would be your current year and your previous year. For the market, because it is working with a much larger data set normally, we do last 30 days, and this is the last rolling 30 days, and then a last rolling 30 to 60 days ago. And when you click View More, you'll find the same selling statistics modal pops up for each of those. It just highlights the specific stat that you've clicked on. So we'll open up ask to sell ratio, and our red box was just right around that ask to sell ratio there. And now moving down this scrolling ticker bar here, this acts as a hot sheet, so it will give you in that primary zone the recent active listings and the recent sold listings. Now if you wanted to hover over that to stop it so you could see what's gone on, you can do that. You can also click on the box sold listing or active listing and open up more listing information. So you'll see the details here. And since this is a sold listing, this gave the list price and the sale price and the days on market here. And then we'll just move down to the averages. So this is the averages last month versus this month. And this is how it's changed. So these are gauge changes. So you can see the ask to sell ratio dropped 2%. You can click on that and get a good view of what that was. And then hopping over, again, when you click on this, sorry, I opened that and didn't explain it very well. When you click on this, it will open up that more selling statistics modal. And now the overview, the last 18 months. So this is an overview of the last 18 months. And if you hover over the bars, it would show you the exact statistics. And you'll notice that for right now, there's not a month. It's not explaining which month this is. So your most current month would be the bar furthest to the right, and then you would count back 18 months from there. But in the coming update, you'll notice that when you hover over the bar, it will show you the specific stat, and it will also show you the abbreviated month. So that is coming in the next few weeks. And then you'll have the same for sale price over here. So you can see how that's changed over 18 months. And then again with days on market. And you can open up that more selling statistics modal just by clicking on these specific stats as well. So right now we'll go into the total listings year-to-date graph. And that's what this is showing. This is going back 10 years on the MLS system, so 10 years to date. And this is showing the amount of listings on the MLS system as of February 9th, 2017. And again, this is just for that primary zone chosen, so this is St. John's. We've got 1,136 listings on February 9th, 2017. If we hovered over 2016, we can see that we had 936 listings as of this date last year. And we can go back and see each of the years for 10 years. And when you toggle over to sold, you'll be able to see the same thing for solds. Within this primary area that we've chosen, as of February 9th, 2017, we've got 74 listings sold on the MLS system. And last year on this date, we had 109 sold on the MLS system. And now going over to the difference year to date, this is essentially the same information, but it's actually showing you the difference. It's highlighting the difference between the years rather than the totals of the years. So you'll notice that your most current year will always sit at 0. And then going back for year to date, we can see on actives, we can see that we had last year on this date 200 less listings on the MLS, 200 less active listings on the MLS. And so you'll always see the difference between your most current year and the previous years. And then again for solds, your most current year will be at 0. So you'll see last year there were 35 more sold listings on the MLS as of this date last year. And then scrolling down, here's another difference between that My Statistics dashboard page and the Market Statistics dashboard page. At the bottom of My Statistics, it showed you a map of your listings. And at the bottom of the Market Statistics, it'll show you a market heat map. So you can just maneuver around here and find the active pockets. And this is, again, the map of that primary area. So that is the overview just of the dashboard pages here. And we are going to hop into Manage My Clients, and then we'll take you back into Report Generator. But right now we're going to go right into Manage My Clients and show you how to enter clients into your Trenlii systems. So I didn't mention this earlier, but you may have noticed that when we're clicking around on different features, there are some blue dialog boxes at the top, and they'll say Watch Video Tutorials. And our video tutorials are hosted on our own site, so they're embedded on the specific feature that you're on. So this tutorial video would actually be for the Manage My Client section. So whenever you're on a feature, if you find a dialog box and you just need a little extra help, you can watch that video and it'll pop up for some extra help there. And here we are on All Clients in the Manage My Client section. And if you're starting out slow on Trenlii, or you don't have a large client database, you just want to enter the few clients that you have for right now, you can add clients individually. And we'll just add a client in here right now. You'll just choose Add Client here, and then you'll enter their contact details. You can see I've added myself quite a bit in the Trenlii accounts. And then you'll enter an email address. And then you can enter the phone number and the address. You can enter as much or as little information as you would like to, but if you're interested in automating client reports, you will have to enter a client email address here. I usually suggest for agents to add themselves into their Trenlii systems so that they can test the system and send themselves some reports. And there are a few additional options, so you can set a type if you'd like. And you can also set the status of your client. And when it comes to the status of your client, you will really define what the statuses mean. So if you want to set somebody as new and they remain new for 2 weeks, you can do that, and then you'd come back in and mark them as active. But if you wanted to mark them as active right away, you could do that as well. So this section really is up to you. And you'll notice I didn't talk about this carrier section, and that's because Trenlii right now it is a platform that we continue to add to. So as you work on Trenlii, you'll notice there are updates that come, and there are new features that come up and new things that come up in the Trenlii marketplace. And this is one of those sections. We are just preparing to add on to this section here. So right now this carrier is not important to set, and we will let you know when it is. But once you've gotten all of your information in here, you can click Submit, and your client will be added right into that Trenlii system. If you ever need to make any changes to a client, you can go in and edit them at any time. And now if you are working with a much larger database of clients and you don't want to enter 200 clients individually, that's understandable. And there is a way to import clients. So we import off of a CSV file, and you can create a CSV file by exporting from programs that you're already using. So you can actually create a CSV file from exporting from your Matrix accounts. You can also do that from Outlook, Gmail, Top Producer, and there are numerous other programs that allow you to export into a CSV file. And once you've got that CSV file saved onto your computer here, you can either open up your files and drag and drop, or you can click in the middle here when your cursor turns into that finger and open your files up. So we'll go into my Documents section and double-click on my CSV file, and then we'll be prompted to map my clients. So what this means is it's taking clients from my CSV file, from my list, and it's asking me to choose the category for each list. In a CSV file, if you're not sure what that looks like, it's like an Excel sheet. So it's got columns, and it's making me map my columns right now. So I will choose first name here. Email and phone number. And it'll ask you to map that first client, and then it'll follow suit for the rest of your clients. And once you've done that, all of your clients should be showing then. And then you've got all of your clients entered in, and you can go in and edit them as needed. But right now we're going to take a look at this pending client section. So this pending client section, it relates directly to the report generator, which we're about to jump right into. And I'll show you a preview. Trenlii has set up a way for you to put a request form on your website. So this would be a preview of the request form that you could put on your website for Trenlii. This is an embeddable request form. So if you know anything about the back end of your website, you just copy and paste the code into your website, into that back end where you can type in HTML code, and then you would save it on your website. And clients would then, when they're coming onto your website, they'd be able to enter all of this information and click submit, and they would be put in your pending clients table right in here. All of their information would then be right in here, and you can reply to them from the table, confirm them, and set up a report generator. So you could set up an automated report for them. Now, if you're looking at your website and you're not seeing this code, you're just seeing some more blurbs here, I'll take you to where you can generate your API code, or your API key, excuse me, and then you'll be able to see this and you could start embedding right away. But we'll hop into the Developer API section. And if you're not seeing this long key, then you'll see a green box that says Generate My API Key. If you click on that, you should get this long key. And this is required for any of the embeddable charts or the request form. But once you've done that, you're finished in this section, and we'll go back in to manage my clients. Here we go. So now you should see that iframe code that you can copy and paste into your website, the back end of your website. Now I'll take you and show you the report that you could automate to clients. And this is an area-based report, and we just opened the report generator section, and we'll go into create new report here. And we'll be taken to a map of that primary area that we've chosen. Now the most important thing to do when generating one of these reports is choose a drawing tool. You'll have to draw an area on the map that you would like to generate this report based on. So you've got a few options. You've got a Polygon tool that you could use, a circle, or a rectangle. The circle and the rectangle are very similar. I'll click on that circle. It's a click and drag process, so you just click and drag and you could move it around. Once you have that on, you can make that a bit smaller if you need. And you've also got this polygon. So the polygon is very specific. If you wanted to include some streets and not others, you could do that. You could use this polygon right here and get around some places. You can also move this around if you'd like, but if you've drawn with the polygon, you're probably in the area that you want. And the way the polygon works on a tablet or on a mobile device, rather than a click and drag, it is a point-to-point. So you tap at your starting point, then you tap again at the next point, and all the way around until you got back to your starting point. You can do multiple sections on one report, but it won't show you the different numbers per section. It would actually average the two sections together. So I'm actually going to delete my polygon right off of there. And I just had that highlighted and click the delete key on my keyboard and go right down here. You can make a very specific report if you'd like. You could enter in types. So you could make a report based on only residentials, or you could even limit the report further to only condominiums. So you've got a few options, but if you leave these sections blank, Trenlii will filter through all of the data within that area that you've drawn, and it'll give you a complete report. So the more that you drill down in these sections, the less data that you'll work with. Once you're finished down there, you'll go right back up into Generate. So now this is the report that you would be able to automate and send to clients. I've got another tutorial video here, and if we were to have drilled down and set parameters for this report, those would show right up here in this green box. These numbers in the boxes, the colorful boxes up here, these are numbers based on the data set within that specified area. So you've got a median average sale price, average days on market, and ask to sell ratio. When you're looking at the map, we've got quite a few listings on here, so you can see that it's hovering over and showing you the address, but you can also click. You can open up a cluster and then click again to open up a listing. So we can see the listing information here. Because this is a sold listing, the status of the listing is always right up by the address. We can see the comments here in the MLS and then some more listing information, the sale price and list price and the days on market. And then clicking over, we can play with the ranking of the listing. So this is all just within $100,000 of the properties around them and the properties within 250 meters radius. So we could actually increase that if we'd like, just to see where the listing falls for each category. And then you have your views here, so your map view, your aerial view, and your street view. And this is the report that you would send to a client, so each time they open this up, they'll be able to do the same thing, click around and see what's sold and what's listed. And now I will show you the sold listings are within 1 year to date, and that's a board-wide default setting. So if you notice as you're headed into your busier season in spring and summer that you think it would be much more helpful to create reports based on a 6-month timeline, you can let the board know, and we will just have to make sure that the board's okay with a change because that would be a board-wide change to the timeline on the report generator section. In any other section, you can change the timeline yourself and get some stats based on the past 10 years worth of data, but for this specific report, it works within a 1 year to date timeline. You'll also notice when you're creating the report, if you draw an area and you generate the report and it tells you that the area is too big, there's too much data, you'll notice you'll have to make that a bit smaller. And there is a cap on information on data here, and that's only because this gives out individual sold stats. So what you're seeing is the individual sale prices for homes. And in order to prevent screen scraping and any kind of break in code for CREA, we do have this limited to 200 listings. So then moving down here, we've got area information. And this would be based, the averages, statistics, and the highs and lows is all based on this section of the report of the area that you've drawn here. So you can click around and see averages and statistics and the highest and lowest of the numbers. And because this may be a bit confusing to look at, just to see everything that's active or everything that's sold, there is another option, another view, and that's our list view down here. So we've got mapped listings. Right now we're sitting on the active, so these are all of the active listings within that circle. And then we've got sold listings in that circle. And you can click on those listings there and open up that listing modal. And scrolling right down, this would be the bubble chart. In this chart, on this axis right here, this vertical axis, this is a price range, excuse me. This is a price range for the listings. And then we've got on the horizontal axis down here, we've got a timeline. So you can see the purple bubbles, that's when the listing was listed. So the furthest to the left over here, we're hovering right around, I'd say February 2016. You can see you can hover over that bubble to get a bit more information, or you can open that bubble up and open that more selling statistics modal up there. And if you open up a bubble, you may see a bit more than just solds. You'll see that this one is an expired listing. So you'll see the status on there. But you could also see these bubbles quite a few times on the chart here. So you'll see when they're listed, and then if the bubble sells, or if the listing sells, you'll see when it's sold down the line. Now the bubble size directly relates to the square footage of the home. So the larger the bubble, the larger the square footage of the home. The higher up the bubble, the higher the price was. And then we'll just go right down to this, the pie charts down here. Got some nice colorful pie charts, and we can see that my custom colors are used on these pie charts. And I mentioned that you could make these reports, these automated reports, very specific for your clients. You could put them out to be based solely on bungalow-style residential homes. And everything above these pie charts would only show information based on bungalow-style homes. But once you get down to the pie charts, we will show you a complete overview and a complete makeup of the market. So you would still see the specific type. We'll change our type to detached three-story residential if that's what we base this report on. We would still see that. And then we give you all of the other information, the breakdown of every other listing, just because we didn't want to give you this piece of the pie and then have everything else shaded the same color saying other. We'll just give you a complete breakdown. But these first top two charts, they're based on the active listings that are within that circle that we've drawn on the map. So this is based on listings of today. This is the breakdown, and you can see exactly how many active of each type are on the market in our bubble, of course. And then going over, we can see some days on market information. And you'll see the average of the active listings on the market broken down by type. And scrolling down, the bottom two pie charts are broken down. They're based on the sold listings on the map. And again, they're broken down by type. So you can hover over each slice and see an average days on market per type. And you can also hover over here and see what's sold based on type. So again, this is the report that you can automate to send to clients, and they'll open this up and be able to click around in here. It's a very interactive report for clients. And when they do open this up, they wouldn't be able to have access to your Trenlii account. They would only see what's in this white portion here. And if you try this on yourself and you open it up in the same browser that you're signed into your Trenlii account, it will open up in your Trenlii account. But I promise if you sign out, it would just open up the report and you wouldn't be able to see within your Trenlii account. And in order to automate this report or to send it once, you will have to save it. So we've got a few options right above this purple box. We've got an export to PDF, an edit report, so you can go back in and edit if you want to set some more parameters up, or you can save the report. And you can name this anything that you'd like. It could be a client name. I'll just put in my last name there. Or it could be a name based on the area of town that you've drawn the report around. So we'll click Save Report here. And once we save a report, it goes into our Saved Report section. So we'll click over in there and show you that. So I've got a few reports in here. And this is the one I've just created. We can see it's based on the St. John's area. The name is over there, and if I wanted to change the name, I could do that as well. And then we've got a timestamp when I created this report. We can view the report, edit the report, or share the report right away. So we'll click Share right here. And this would be if you wanted to share this report one time. So this wouldn't be automating the report, but if you've met someone at an open house and they just want this report once, they'll let you know if they want an automated report, you can send this to them immediately. You would just enter their email address, and then these two sections are optional. So you could enter their name. If you don't, the email would then just say hello and then the message rather than hello and their name. And you can enter a custom message along with the report. But again, if you don't enter a custom message, it wouldn't show as blank. It actually, Trenlii's coded in a way to where it writes this message for you. So it's a pretty generic message. Just says, I invite you to come and view this custom report. And then it gives the little button to click on so that they can see the report. But if you wanted to see what that looks like, you can send this to yourself. And you would share once you have everything in there. Now, if you are interested in automating this report, then you will go right into your automated reporting section, and you'd open up this table here. Right now, we don't have any automations in our automated reporting section, which is about to change because we are going to add one. We'll add report here. And right up here, we will have a drop-down of all of our saved reports. So our most recently created report shows at the top, and you could scroll through your reports just to see what you have if you wanted to set up another report, but we'll take this report right now. And then you'll add clients. So if you have a long client list and you know the last name that you want to use, you can start typing and it'll bring up who matches what's on there. And then you'll just click on the list. So you'll click over in the All My Clients section and move them over into Report Clients. And if you add someone by accident, you'll just click to move them back over to the All Clients list. In this message section, you do have the option to write that custom message again. But if not, it is a generic message that sends out. So once you're happy with who you have in here and the report that you've chosen to send, you can go ahead and click Submit. And we're almost there for automation. So as a default, it sets up to send every 90 days, but we can see that this would not go out yet because this is still sitting on that red disabled. And we'll go into this Configurate button here. So we'll go into the configuration. And you can set up reports to send every 7 to 180 days, so every week to every quarter of the year. Most people right now are working on a monthly basis, so they'll set up to send every 30 days. And by saving this, this would save this, and this would be day 1 of your 30-day sending cycle. If you wanted the listing or this report to go out immediately and count as day 1, you'll have to take another step and you'll just click Options and send email now. So if you don't do the option send email now, the report won't send out until 30 days from now. So we're happy here, and we're going to go ahead and click Save. And then we've just got one more step, and that's just Enable. And we can go in and make changes at any time, or we could completely delete the automation by clicking on the little box over there and Delete Selected. And now we'll move into another reporting feature, and this is the PDF reporting feature. So this right here, what we've just done is an automated report, and it's an automated client report. And now I'm going to take you into PDF reporting, and we are going to create a PDF report. And our PDF reports work a little bit differently. These don't automate, and these are not citing individual sold stats. These can be based on a complete area. They can be based on the whole MLS system, so all of the board, or you could break it down by St. John's or sub-areas in St. John's, sub-areas of your major areas. And they do work a little bit differently because you can edit this branding. So we're going to go in right now and edit some branding of our PDF reports. So we'll choose that. And you can see we've got some more colors that we can set up, some more customization here. And again, if you know the color codes that you use, you want to go ahead and type those in, or you can click around. And right here, we've got override contact details. So these contact details are what is found in your Trenlii account. But if you're working on behalf of your brokerage, if you're also a managing broker, you can override your contact details and create a PDF report for your entire brokerage. So you would change the name here to the brokerage name and then the contact details for the brokerage. Or again, you could change the contact details if you find that the phone number entered is different than what you want on the report. You'll also be able to add logos onto this. So you can change the report avatar up here. You can use nothing. You can use the account avatar, which we set up right over here, or you can upload a custom avatar. I usually choose to use my account avatar here. And I'll show you where all of this is on the report. But you can also enter your logo. So again, we'll just go right back into pictures here. I'll enter my logo in, and then you can make changes just to make sure that it's centered and as big as you'd like it. And once you're okay with it, you'll click OK. And then you'll click Save. And because this writes in PDF format, so it writes it and then it's on your Trenlii system, but it's in a PDF format, if you make any changes to the branding, it won't be applied to reports that you've already created, but it will be applied to the next reports that you create. So then once you're ready to get in and make some PDF reports, we'll go right in, and we're asked for report name, month data, and to select a type. So we'll just give this the St. John's. And that's what we'll do. We'll do a report based on St. John's. And you can select a month within the last 10 years to date. So we could go back if we wanted to 2010, January 2010. Most agents and anyone working in the PDF reporting section here, they're interested in creating a report for the previous month. So that's what they're working with right there. Oh, excuse my phone call here. And just on this report section, you do have the option to choose a report. And right now, we only have one report in there. It's the monthly report essential, and this is a 19-page report, so it's a very data-heavy report. However, in the coming update that I've been talking about, you will have a 1-page and a 5-page report added in here. So it'll be really helpful for you to be able to send this out to a client, a quick report about what's going on within a month in a certain area. Now, if we were to click one-click reporting here, we would skip from this report setup all the way to generate. We wouldn't even mess with data metrics or parameters here. But we're going to leave this open, and I'm going to take you through the complete setup process. So here we have another time to write a small introduction to the report. And this report is actually, it's very specific. You can write an introduction of your own, but Trenlii is coded in a way to write an introduction for you. And for this introduction that Trenlii writes, it cites specific stats within the report. So it's a nice introduction, just citing highlights of the report here. And you can customize your snapshot metrics here. So you've got 3. You have to have 3 clicked, but you can change them. And again, we have a customization, and there's a little quirk right now for the 9 data metrics. So if we unclick one, we can't continue on. We have to have all 9. But in the update, this quirk is all worked out, and you'll be able to select only the ones that you want shown on your report. We'll click continue right here. And then we've got our parameters. So now you can set this to send to really any section that you'd like. We have that show all areas turned on. We talked about that a little bit earlier, right in this right sidebar. So we could choose any area that our board covers. I titled mine St. John's, so we'll click St. John's there. And if I wanted to get rid of an area, I could do that. Or I could keep them all and I could add areas to that. And now we've also got types that we could base this on. So we could do solely a residential report for the St. John's area. We could base that on property styles there. And we could enter amenities. So this can be a very specific report that you create at any time. And then we'll continue on. And this process does take about 2 minutes. So when you're generating the PDF market reports, you'll want to make sure that you have something else to do, because staring at the screen for 2 minutes actually seems like an eternity. So, but it is an interesting little pencil drawing that happens, and then your report would show up. To save time today, I'll show you a report that we've already created, and this is based on a sub area in Nanaimo over on Vancouver Island. So this is where my avatar shows up, and I could have, I don't know if you saw that, you have an option to round this avatar if you wanted it rounded. And then these are my contact details on my avatar, or on my report that I could have changed. And then again, my logo just shows right over here. I've got my custom colors set, and this is the introduction that Trenlii writes. So we can see that it's citing some specific stats in there. And then I'll scroll down and show you a little bit of this report. So this is the 19-page report. And once the update happens, you will have access to this information for a 1-page or a 5-page report. So much less data heavy than the 19-page. And once you have these drawn, you'll have the parameters. You can look at the parameters, and you can download and send this out. You can attach these PDF reports to blogs on your website, or you can also attach them to emails to clients. You can do a variety of things with these PDF reports. Now I'm going to take you right into the market trends section here. And we'll just hop into new versus sold right now. And so for right now, you see that up here my area parameter is already set, and that's what we just used to create this that PDF market report. So when you're hopping around from PDF market reporting into any of these charts, your most recently used parameters will be saved in here. And that's what would be showing on that graph first. So this is within these specified areas, and it's filtered through all of the other parameters, so no other parameters are set. If you wanted to reset that, you can just click that reset button, and now what's showing is, see, some much larger numbers, and this is the complete MLS system. So it's filtering through each area that's showing on this drop-down. And you can create these reports to be quite specific. If you wanted to just show east and just based on residential, you could do any number of building types here, amenities, or set a price parameter. Any change that you make up in this section, you will click filter for. So it prompts you to click filter to save those changes and see them. But you'll just, if you're working up here, you'll click filter. And there you go. We've got our chart based on residential in the east area of St. John's. And this is the last year to date, but I can change that. We can go back 10 years on the MLS system. In this date range, this is an immediate change. So you can click around and see. If you wanted to zoom in on a specific time frame, you can do that. So we're zooming in on July 2010 to July 2011, so that year right there. And it breaks it down by month then. We'll go back over and reset the zoom. If you're working with quite a bit of data, you want to turn some things off. So we want to turn our spread line off right here. We can click on that spread down there. We can click on sales and just show the new listings or just show sales here. And when you're creating any kind of report or any kind of market trends chart, you'll find the definition of what's showing just right down here. There's a little gray box with a settings wheel, and that's where you'll find the definition for the chart. So I'm going to actually take you into a line graph because you can do multiple lines, and you'll see this change based on which line we've chosen. So right now we're going to hop on over into listings over time, and we will go into new listings. There we go. And so what's showing down on my chart is from my previous parameter set, and it's filtered through the residential for that east area of town, of St. John's, and that's that line. And we can see the definition of that line just down here in line 2. Oh, that's a great question, Chris. The charts can be exported, but I'm not sure that they would be put into an Excel spreadsheet. You can export these charts. You can print them and show them as PDF or JPEG. So you could put them on reports if you're printing out reports. But these are also the embeddable charts. So you could embed these on your website if you'd like, and that would just be that embed chart option there, and it's the copy paste iframe code, and I'll show you just a preview of what would show on your website then. So you've got that last filtered line, and the definition of each line of the line would actually be right up at the top. But if you're creating, that segues nicely into this next section. If you're creating multiple comparisons, what would be embedded would be the last line that you've created. So we'll go west and we'll filter through to get another line on that chart. And we'll turn off that line 2 and line 1, that's the same line. And we've got our line 3 showing now, and this would be for the west. So we can see the difference between east and west. Our east is that line 2, the pink shaded line, and then we've got the west for line 3, so you see the difference. And then if we were going to switch around, we can see, we can hop through. This is what I was talking about a little bit earlier. We can toggle over and see the definition for each line. And if we were going to embed this now, it would show us the west line. So it embeds the last generated line. And I'll just give you a preview of that. So that's for that west. So we've got quite a few different charts that you can go over. We've got the sales over time, and that opens up some more sold listings, average price, total sales dollars, and a second sale difference. We have a second sale difference chart in the sales over time and the days on market. So what these second sale difference charts would show you is the difference between if a listing has sold within the past 8 years, if it's sold twice, it would show you the difference between the price of each sale. And that's if you're working within that sales over time, the second sale difference there. And then if you're in days on market working on that second sale difference chart, it would show you the difference between the days on the market for that listing and the sales. And then you'll notice right down here we've got listing medians. And this is actually, if you're working in your chart and you haven't purchased this in the Trenlii marketplace, this is an added on chart. I'll just take you in to show you the medians. And I'll reset this. So this is median sale price, and this would be for now for the complete board. So the complete MLS, nothing filtered through. You can see the range there, but you can turn that off and see the difference between median and average price range. And again, this is an added on chart, so you'd find it in the Trenlii marketplace section, and I think it's if you're interested, it's $2.78 a month, I believe, and $30 for the year or something like that. But before you would purchase it, it would definitely show you the price. But we'll go into, oh, sure, Shelley, sure. We'll go into right now the mapping section here, and we'll hop into hot listings. So these hot listings that are showing on this map, these are listings within the last 12 months that have sold with very low days on market and a very high ask to sell ratio, and it's filtered within this price range set. So if you wanted to know the specific days on market and ask to sell price ratio that it's using to filter through, you can click that filter button. You could also change it. So right now we're showing with 20 days on market and 4 asking. So if we made that a bit smaller, let's say for 5 days on market, and we'll keep the asking price there, and applied that, we'd see how many listings sold within those parameters, so fewer. And this is great to set some selling expectations. If you've got a seller that is looking for a really quick sale, you can just show them kind of what's happening in the area and show them the listings that are selling with low days on market and high ask to sell price ratio. So great for expectations. And once you see a listing on here, you can open that up and get that listing modal up. Here we go. And now we'll go into competitive listings. And these competitive listings, I talked about them a little bit earlier when we went over alerts, because each competitive listing that pops up, you will be alerted. And so it'll pop up, if you've got your pop-ups turned on, it'll be a red box that pops up right down here that lets you know that there's a listing in the area of one of your listings. Or you can find it by opening the right side bar and looking in the alerts here. And you'll find a red box. And all of the red boxes will be your competitive listings. You can change the what would be considered a competitive listing. Right now, it's within a $50,000 price range, above or below, and within 100 meters. Now, you could increase that, and on the updated version of Trenlii, you'll be able to increase it far above 500 meters. We work quite a bit in Saskatchewan, and working with some agents there, they said 500 meters doesn't get me off the farm. So the developers are increasing that distance so that you can filter through and see what's around your listings. And then we'll go into these area maps here. And at the beginning, when we were on that market statistics page on the dashboard setting, I showed you a heat map. And you'll find the heat maps are actually in the mapping area. So you can find heat maps. This is a active market heat map, so in that St. John's area. And you'll see that this is the red pockets are the most active, and then going out from there. And this is an animation, so it goes back 1 year to date, and you can play through the animation and see how that's changed over the past year. And you can change what that animation looks like. We've got a few options here. We'll go into more options. And if we turned on our add days, it would add day ranges, a day range for us. So we could we could change that and make it 15 days. So it wouldn't remove, it would keep on 15 days before and 15 days after our specified date here. So it would keep 15 days on there instead of moving from day to day. So we will save that, and I'll show you. It's just a bit slower then because it's not removing data immediately. So it doesn't change as quickly. And then you have that same heat map, but we could go in, and these you can do for your own active listings, for your own sold listings, you can show the heat map, or you can do for the market actives and the market sold listings. So we'll go into market solds right now and show you the heat map for that. Let that load a little bit. Just want to check. There we go. So here we go. We'll play that animation, and you can see how the solds have acted on the market for the last year. Then we do have another pro option. So again, you'll find the pro options right in the marketplace for Trenlii. And I'll just show you what those are, the tree maps. And these just give a breakdown of listing type and the area. So right now we're on that, looks like we're breaking down the St. John's area. So East seems to have sold quite a bit. So we'll click on East. And then we've got single family condominiums, got some other breakdowns over on the side. And we'll click again on single family and see the style breakdown. So this is great. These are the active, so this is the market active listings. And it's great for when you do a mail drop. If you notice that one area is more active in active listings than another and you want to do a mass card drop in that area just to get your name out and be top of mind, you can do that. You can monitor where's most active and where's most active in sold listings as well. And so I will just show you, we do have a variety of ways if you wanted to contact us, if you ever have any questions. Shelley, I will go back over that SMTP server, but I'll end the video first. So we're just going to go into Contact Us. Here we go. So if you wanted to give us some feedback or ask a question in this would show right in, go right into the support@trenlii.com email. And this is the best one to get a hold of multiple people. So you can do the feedback way. And because you're already logged into your Trenlii account, we already know who you are. You could ask quick questions in there, or you can send us an email right from here. If you need a phone number for us, you can find a phone number for us on our home page. It's just right on our contact. There it is. And again, the best email address is that support, monitored by multiple people, and it gets sent to the right place. Or when the live chat is on, you can talk to us right in the live chat there. So thank you all for joining the training session this morning. We are going to go back over the email settings right now, but I will end the video first. So thank you all for joining us. If you have gotten what you need, don't feel like you have to stay.